Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Oh, brother. Let me see.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't even hear myself. That's very weird that I don't hear myself. There I am. Wow. I could hear the music, but I could not hear myself. Everything is going wrong here. Right. This is how my campaign goes. Oh, brother. Yeah. Rocking out with Rush. That's how my campaign. Good morning, folks. It is Friday, your favorite day of the week. Friday, July 21st, 2023. I'm having some problems with the Rumble feed, and I don't have the ability to fix it during the feed here, so I'm going to have to remove that. That's unfortunate. Something went wrong on the Rumble side, so we're not streaming live to Rumble right now, which are people I really want to talk to. Not that I don't want to talk to you folks on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else you are. I appreciate you being here. But the Rumble is a very politically active site, and this morning I want to talk about why I'm even bothering with this crazy idea of running for Congress in the 3rd District of New York for 2023, and we'll get to that. But first, I want to say about Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett has passed away at 96 years old. Tony Bennett has been on the charts. He's had an album on the charts in every decade since the 1950s. That's extraordinary. Had an album on the charts in every decade since the 1950s. Think about that. Who else has ever done that? Been able to keep an album in the Billboard charts for that long. Different albums, of course, not a album. But that's an extraordinary feat for any musician. Now, I got to tell you, that being said, that's a great accomplishment. I only know one song from him. One. I Left My Heart in San Francisco. And nobody has ever asked me to play that song. I've been playing since the 60s, the late 60s, playing in bands. Nobody has ever asked me to play a Tony Bennett song. None. Not one. Which is also kind of shocking, considering he's been that popular for that long. And I'm sure people out there can educate me about other songs. I know he did one with Lady Gaga that was a hit. I don't know what it was. He's been outspoken and been a very straight shooting guy when it comes to sharing his opinions over the year, which over a long career, which doesn't always make for a long career when you do that stuff. But rest in peace, Tony Bennett. It's just, it's 96 years old, a good long ride. And I'm sure he enjoyed most of it. He had an incredible life, and good for him. That's, if you're not a religious person, then all you can believe is that the reward for a good life for living a good life is to have a good life. And it appears he did have a very good life. So, Tony Bennett, adios, farewell, rest in peace. Yesterday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. appeared before Congress to talk about the weaponization of government, which is something he knows nothing about. He's never been in government in his life. He was a child when his criminal father, a criminal uncle and criminal father were in government. He knows as much about the weaponization of government or how government runs as you do. So he's not an expert in that. He has been an anti-vaxxer, which he denied unbelievably. That's like me denying I'm bald. He has been writing anti-vax articles. He wrote his first anti-vaccine article in 2005 for Rolling Stone. He has been on a anti-vax campaign, not running for president, an anti-vax campaign for all these years, the 18 years since he wrote that article, and probably before that he wrote the article, obviously. He was an anti-vaxxer. Now he's denying he's an anti-vaxxer, which is astonishing because there's plenty of videotape of him. And I've seen somewhere he's actually saying that if he saw somebody walking down the street with a child, he would stop them and try to talk them out of having their child vaccinated. This is long before he decided to run for president. It's like he forgets that videotape of him exists, saying the things he's denying he's saying. And the proliferation of people who want to say they are friends of him, lifelong friends, and he's such a good guy. These people are fucking delusional or idiots or liars or all of it. Nobody, the Kennedys don't have a lot of common people friends. The Kennedy clan, they've always been elitist, even when they were mafia. Joe Kennedy, his grandfather, was a prohibition mafia boss who routinely had people killed who got in his way. And not, I'm not, who am I to judge mafia families? I come from not an elitist mafia family, a low level, very low level mafia family. So I'm not, that doesn't necessarily mean that it spilled down to him, but it did spill down to him. His father, his uncle, John, some people still are like he was not a great president. First of all, let's get this straight. He didn't accomplish a damn thing. All he did was set up a bunch of Cubans to die on a beach, fighting for a revolution. That's his, and he escalated. He got us into a war in Vietnam. That's John Kennedy's legacy. But when he was running for office, he was literally in bed with the mob. He was fucking Laura Giancana, who was a sister of the mob boss in Chicago. The mob helped him get elected. Might have killed him. This is John Kennedy, not some fucking American royalty, as people want to make him out to. And people who follow these fucking people or are so in love with the Kennedys are in a cult just the same way the MAGA people are in a cult. Cult of personality, just want to be attached to this guy who's apparently got lots of money and all that stuff. And cult of personality, just want to be accepted in the cult. The deep state is not trying to make Robert F. Kennedy look crazy. He's making himself look crazy. Nobody in the deep state is making him say the batshit crazy shit that he says. Is he an anti-Semite? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not. But he said anti-Semitic things. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Whether he meant them or doesn't even hear the words coming out of his mouth. Listen, people say a lot of shit. Doesn't necessarily mean he hates Jews. And I think probably in all reality, he doesn't hate Jews. But there's no denying he said what he said. And the deep state did not put words in his mouth. They didn't do that to him. I'm saying good morning to people in the chat room here. Ian, good morning. And Carl, good morning. give him a break. His uncle was murdered by the government. No, his uncle probably was not murdered by the government, probably murdered by the mob. But okay, you could say the CIA had something to do with that. You can put that out there as a suggestion or an idea, and there's no proof against that. There's no proof for that. But so yeah, that doesn't count. You know what? CIA killed a lot of people. We don't need to have them in front of Congress testifying about the weaponization of the United States government if they don't know anything about it. That's the point. And um, people who are saying, I know him all his life and he's a good guy, they're full of shit. They're delusional and full of shit. They don't know him. They have not been friends with him. In their minds, they think they have a relationship with him, that they're friends with him. Again, the Kennedys don't have friends in low places like normal people. They don't have working class friends ever. They don't have friends in comedy. I see all these comedians. I've known them first of all, if you know him all his life, you can't say he's a good guy. He told his wife to fucking kill herself, and she did, and he went out partying. His uncle Ted, and this is the Kennedy family tradition. Robert Kennedy was with Marilyn Monroe a couple of hours before she committed suicide. There was reason to keep her quiet because she was banging both the Kennedy brothers. One of them happened to be the president, and the other one happened to be attorney general, and they both wanted to keep her quiet. Now, does that mean they murdered her? You can guess. You can, speculate on that all you want. But the fact is, she was dying while he was there, and he left her there. Teddy Kennedy drove a woman off a bridge drunk, saved himself while she was drowning, made no attempt to save her whatsoever, and thought of himself and went back to a party to cover up an alibi. That was the anniversary of that was yesterday, by the way. It's Chappaquiddick. If you don't know about that, my wife didn't know about that. I had to inform her about that. Teddy Kennedy left a woman to die to save his own reputation. Drunk driving left a woman drowning and made no effort. And he could have easily saved her. It was very shallow water. She was trapped in his car, made no effort to save her. This is the kind of people Kennedys are. We got to get over the cultism of Kennedy lust in this country. They are the equivalent of the Windsors. If you want to call the people want to call them American royalty, yeah, that's what they are. They are the kind of people who have friends like Jimmy Savile. These are the Kennedys. There's no difference between King Charles, and Joseph Kennedy, or the leader of the Kennedy clan. And these people who just have this lust for Kennedyism and just listen, if you're not happy with the presidential choices we have, join the club. Nobody is. The two-party system is just delivering one fucked up bad choice after another. That's absolutely true. And I understand the need to want to have somebody else, but not a Kennedy. If you're thinking we need a change, the last thing you want to do is Kennedy. We've had two of them run for president. One of them who was supposed to run for president before Jack, who got himself killed in a war, didn't work out. But Kennedys are the same as Clintons and Trumps and Bushes. If you're looking to change the system, Kennedys are the worst way to go. And this one in particular, who has a history of being an elitist, bad dude from the age of 16, where he was throwing his friends in front of moving cars to get them hit so he could extort drivers by screaming at them, "You killed the Kennedy, and pay up." He's fucked up. He's a fucked up dude. And anybody who claims I've known him all his life and he's a good guy, either one or two of those, obviously the second part of that sentence is a complete lie. but probably the first part of the sentence. I've known him all my life. No, you haven't known him. He doesn't know you. I've never seen him once where he's tweeted out to you, you're claiming he's your friend? You don't know him. He doesn't know you, and he doesn't give a shit about you. What can you do for him? Anyway, this whole fucking nonsense, and this is why. What is Carl saying here? The Kennedys killed Marilyn. Friend, they have friends in low places. No, those aren't friends in low places. Those are friends in very high influential places. I don't know how you get Marilyn Monroe's death is low places. I'm coming back to be president. What do you mean? Coming back here? You can't. You have to be born here. Sorry. You can't even become an American citizen and run. You have to be born here. No calls. Unfortunately, you can be a cult leader, and I think that there's plenty of potential and opportunity for you there. But no, you can't be president. I'm sorry about that. But maybe you could be king. I don't know how that works. You'd have to kill Charles and just take his crown. I don't know how that works. Anyway, all this nonsense about having him testify in front of Congress about the weaponization of government is just more bullshit and more dog and pony shows. And it is getting to exactly the point I wanted to make today about why I'm even attempting this silly, crazy idea of running for Congress. Yes, I am running for Congress in the 3rd District of New York in 2024 for the seat that is currently occupied by George Santos, who will probably be in jail by the time the election takes place. So far, the Democratic Party has not offered up who there's running for. They have actually going to do a primary, which is why they have not named a candidate yet. I don't know who that will be. Hopefully, it'll be a more qualified person than me. But I'm running as an independent, completely independent. Why? First reason why, and I'll come back to the congressional dog and pony shows later, because that's the second reason why. The first thing I want to do is to make a point about money. I don't care what political party, I don't care what your personal politics are, what your personal views on. I think everybody in America can agree that dirty money, special interest money, is the worst thing in American politics or in politics anywhere in the world, is that people are bought and paid by special interest, big corporations or PACs, people with agendas. They go and buy politicians, put some money in your account, you owe them favors, you get into office, you can't do service for the people who elected you. You have to serve the people who put the money in your bank account. So I'm running a no money campaign. Absolutely no money. No money in, no money out. I'm not taking donations. I'm not spending any money other than the chump change that's in my pocket after a gig. That's what I'm going to, if I need to have flyers printed, which I probably don't need any of that. If I need to have, I don't know, gas money to get myself to supermarkets and events where I'm going to be shaking hands and telling people what my agenda is. The only money I have to spend is a Long Island Railroad ticket to get myself around, or gas money driving myself around the neighborhoods that I intend to serve. Do I think I can really have a good chance of getting elected? It depends. It really does. It depends on who the Democrats run, because the Democrat who ran against George Santos obviously did not have enough momentum or did not have enough likability to get elected in District 3. George Santos turned out to be the worst candidate, but they voted for him anyway. And my campaign slogan is, you voted for worse. You voted for a pathological liar and criminal and fraud. And George Santos is up on many charges, including fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud and all those kind of stuff. So it depends on who the Democrats run. If they run somebody better than me, they should probably have it. But here's the thing: they will probably be also bought and paid for by special interests. And so, no matter what your politics are, it's hard to argue with that. Dirty money is the number one issue in politics. And I promise to not take a penny from anyone, not ask for donations, not accept donations, and not spend any money. Now, that's driving the Federal Elections Commission insane, because I filed my quarterly report last week and I had lots of questions. What are all these zeros? You're not taking money? No. Well, here's the problem. The two-party system has set it up, the Republicans and Democrats, for their primary purposes and for debates and for uh, pushing candidates. You have to. They require you to get a certain amount of donations and signatures before they will put you in a official debate. They're basically saying we endorse special interest money in our campaigns. We want our candidates to take money from people so that they can owe them favors and fuck all the promises, campaign promises they're making to you. They're not going to work towards any of those things. They're going to work towards fulfilling their debt to the people who bought them. This is the problem. So I want to prove, first of all, most of your donations go to ridiculous bullshit, television commercials. If you be honest now, have you ever voted for a candidate because of a television commercial? Have you ever voted for a candidate because of a lawn sign or a road sign? People with these signs on there for political candidates on their lawn. Is that going to change anybody's mind? But no, millions of dollars get spent in printing up road signs and lawn signs and bumper stickers and flyers and all this kind of stuff. And it basically, from September to November, your mailbox is full of junk that goes to wasted paper that goes directly from the mailbox to the trash. Nobody looks at it. That's how your campaign money is being spent. And then they take a little off the top and give some to their family for a shopping excursion. And you see this all the time. Campaign money being spent improperly. You know, and sometimes it's spent on nonsense. Also, you could be buying those silly fucking hats. You waste your money on a fucking hat. Where's that money going to? A hat for your candidate or a T-shirt. Where's that money going to? Well, it's not going back into anything that's helping them get elected. It's going into perks for their family and friends. So none of that stuff makes sense, and this is why I'm running a no money campaign. No money in, no money out. It will drive them crazy. And if I could even make a splash and get enough votes to get enough attention about this issue, it will be a good thing. And it might bother enough people to start actually getting some minuscule bit of conscience about how they are ripping people off and being fraudulent about all this stuff. And, you know, because both parties here, keep this in mind. Everybody campaigns on this idea that we got to get the dirty money out of politics and special interest money out of it. And then both parties, not only willingly take it, they actively seek it and serve those people constantly. That's who they serve. Okay. That's issue one. That is my first reason for running for Congress. And I want people to be clear on that. Help me make a point. Get the dirty money out. Run a no money campaign and see that we can actually make a decent running at it. Maybe more people will be inclined to say, I don't need all this fucking money for television commercials. Television commercials don't win elections. You do need to be on a debate stage if you're seriously on national politics, which seriously, I don't know if I'm ever serious about anything. But I will say that in order to win a real outside of this particular district, District 3, where they voted for a criminal, pathological liar. If you really want a chance to win, you have to be on a debate stage. And in order to be on a debate stage, you have to take donations. So the biggest problem here is convincing the two parties that should not be a qualifier for the debates, for any of that stuff. To let people know what your platform is, you should not have to take a bunch of special interest money to even tell people about what you stand for. Okay. That's it. That's issue number one. That's why I'm running to heighten the awareness of bad money and prove to people that you can run a campaign without taking dirty money, without owing anybody anything. And you could be the most well-intentioned person, but somebody puts $5 million in your bank account. You owe them a favor no matter who you are. Your conscience will not let you not pay them back in some kind of favors. If a vote comes up that is either going to help that person who put, or that company, that corporation, that special interest group that put $5 million in the account, it's either going to help them or hurt them. You're always going to vote on the side of help them no matter what. They paid for your seat, and they're going to pay for your seat next time. Not with me. I ain't taking money from nobody. Okay. Moving on to the next reason. Yesterday, as I mentioned, we had a congressional hearing about nothing. A lot of grandstanding, and every single day, and not just yesterday, the day before that, we had another one. So yesterday was RFQ Jr., testifying about something he knows nothing about. And one of the New York Congress people were the district next to New York 3, next to 4, Elise Stefanik. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. She's a congressperson from District 4. She was asking RFQ about Hunter Biden's laptop. And he actually said, I don't know anything about that. Why are you asking RFQ about Hunter Biden's laptop? Well, I'll tell you why. Because she knows the people on Newsmax or Fox or one of the conservative outlets might put her on television for that soundbite. It's all an audition to get FaceTime on television. All these fucking dog and pony show congressional hearings are for Congress people in Congress, people you elected to do things positive for your family, are just using these bullshit hearings to audition for FaceTime on that night's cable TV. That's what it's all about. So they can keep getting elected, keep getting special interest money, and get rich instead of serving the people. Now, they make all sorts of promises when they're running for office. We're going to work on inflation. We're going to work on energy prices and clean energy. We're going to work on immigration reform. We're going to work on healthcare reform. We're going to work on safe schools. We're going to work on all these things. And then they don't. They go on and do these fucking hearings day after day on, usually they're covered on cable television. And then those snippets get played on nighttime, primetime cable television. And then if you make something really controversial enough or scream loud enough and act passionate enough, they will put you on the program, and Sean Hannity will invite you on for 5 minutes to do your campaign speech so you can get elected again and do the shit all over again. So the reason I want to, we have another politician coming in a moment. The reason I really want to I would love to get elected, win this fucking thing, and only run for one term, promise that I will not run for a second term, is to go in there and turn over the money tables, the money changers tables, like Christ in the temple. And I'm not comparing myself to Jesus Christ. I just want to take an example from what he did, supposedly, in the book. It says he did this. He went into the temple and was outraged by the money changers and desecrating the house of the Lord, as he put it, and turned over the tables in a fit of rage and said, I don't know if he actually said the F word. I don't know. Did Jesus ever say the F word? Well, let's hope he did. But to say you fucking people are just a bunch of criminals. You're not working on the shit that you were elected to do here. People elected you to deal with problems, and Republicans and Democrats like to play that they're inseparable. There's no compromise. We just believe in two different things. The truth is, on most of these issues, there is compromise to be had. And the one beautiful thing about the American system government that we overlook is if something doesn't work, we can backtrack and fix it and go and change and go the other direction. So compromise is important. When we can figure out these things, if we just put down the dog and pony show, stop taking the special interest money, and have somebody in there with the balls enough to say, I'm only running once. I'm here to point out how Congress is not working for you. They're not doing what they said they would do. And basically your vote is wasted because all they care about is serving McDonald's or serving Coca-Cola or whatever fucking corporation paid their way. It's not always corporations, by the way. Sometimes it's just special interest groups that just they have an agenda for a bunch of corporations. It's all about greed at the end of the day. So that's my pitch is I want to run on no money. I want to get in there. I want to get in trouble by saying fuck you on the floor of the House of Representatives, call them all thieves and assholes, and say, you better get your shit straight because the people are not putting up with this crap anymore. That's my reasons and if that makes sense to you, just share my stuff. That's all I ask. Go on social media, tag it with Glen Cove and Huntington and East Hills and North Hills and Bethpage and places like that. Tag those places, Long Island, New York, District 3. Even tag George Santos because he's who I'm running against. I'm running against a guy who's going to be in prison. Anyway, Carl Mann has been sitting in the back. It looks like he's looking at his dick at the moment. But he has been on a political rant. I think he probably disagrees with me on a lot of stuff, but we'll see what he has to say. Welcome, Carl.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Were you looking at your dick?
Phone, unfortunately.
How did it look?
Rectangular, and that's just my penis. So the phone.
Wow.
So
interesting. So, do you disagree with me on the Kennedy cult situation?
No.
Because they are the Windsors. You know that. They are the American Windsors.
The Bill Burr bit and the Arnie documentary, part of Arnold Schwarzenegger being a great man was, being an amazing bodybuilder, being an actor when they said he couldn't be, being a leading man when he couldn't be. And then he's going to marry a Kennedy.
Right.
He married a Kennedy as well.
Right.
Before he went into politics and become an amazing governor.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're a dynasty family, right? The one, not the one good thing, but the Bushes were also a dynasty family, but probably not as public as the Kennedys, right? There's been a lot of them.
Yeah. And starting with Prescott, a lot of people think Prescott is the root of all evil. They think the grandfather of
I don't. Oh, Prescott Kennedy. I didn't know.
No, Prescott Bush.
Right, yeah. Weren't they oil guys back in the day?
Yeah.
Bushes. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember too much. I know they became
Prescott was one of the initiators
family
of the CIA and the organization that was in place before the CIA.
Well, the Nazis set that up, right? That was a Nazi. The OSS.
Yeah. And Prescott was in bed with all of them, and he was a major benefactor of World War II. World War I and World War II made a lot of money off of the wars.
Wasn't one of the Bushes in Dealey Plaza when he said he couldn't remember where he was when Kennedy got shot, and it turns out he was in Texas.
Yeah, George H.W. Bush, the first Bush.
So he was a
CIA
director, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows where the bodies are buried. That guy.
All of them, and then the Clintons too. The Clintons are dirty now. This guy's talking about Clinton's body count. There's only one body in the Clinton body count, but I saw Patrick Bet-David grilling Anthony Weiner about how come so many people around the Clintons died. Most of them are made up. The only one that has any teeth to it is Vince Foster.
What about the journalists? in
Seth
DC.
Rich, yeah, that's been debunked
Okay.
so many times. He
Okay.
wasn't.
That's
He
fair.
had no connection to the Clintons. And
Well,
he,
they were. He was helping out in the CIA, flying cocaine into America to flood the streets to get blacks addicted to crack. There, right?
right,
Because Clinton was a governor, right, in Arkansas at that
yeah,
time. Yeah.
And Vince Foster is very suspicious. I mean, the guy, he's supposedly committing suicide in a park and shot himself in a way that's really hard to shoot himself. And then at the same
Oh
time,
yeah.
there was video footage, surveillance footage in the White House of Hillary removing boxes from Vince Foster's office while he's in the park, supposedly offing himself. So that's
Well, the House of Cards, the Kevin Spacey series, was purportedly, even though they were Republicans, they were kind of based on the Clintons. It was the power couple,
right.
and the real power was the woman.
Yeah.
Pushing Bill. Listen, he forced an employee to suck his dick in the White House, and the wife went after her and called her a whore.
Yeah.
Like they're insane, the Clintons.
Yeah. Very, very much. But even besides, if you take murder out of the picture,
Yeah.
you still have a very corrupt. The Clintons were corrupt from beginning with the land deals and all the stuff.
Well,
Hillary turned $140,000 into $14 million in a week in the stock market. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean they're corrupt, but I mean, what president hasn't been brought and paid for in my lifetime? I don't know one.
None, not in our lifetime. The only one I can think of, it predates our lifetimes, in my lifetime even, is Teddy Roosevelt. But when he decided that after being president, he decided, this fucking whole system is corrupt. I'm quitting the party and starting my own party called the Boom Party. He never got elected again.
I know I was drunkenly talking about it last night. I'll have to go back and see what I said, but I kind of said the UK and the US are very similar, but the US is way more overt. It's obviously money. I mean, why do you need hundreds of $1 million to campaign to be a president? That's insane. You need a Zoom call.
That's exactly my point. That's why I'm running for Congress. You
can have a $2,000 laptop. That's what you need.
I don't think you even need it to. I think you could do it with $149.
Yeah, but you want a nice Mac, right?
I do want a nice Mac, but you could, in theory, do it with $149.
You could do it on a phone. You could do it on a $300 phone.
Right.
Whatever. But it's you don't need so that money in the UK. It's more kickbacks, so it's more. And they always get caught out. Every government, both sides, they always get caught out eventually. So we had a lot of COVID stuff, and I'm sure it was out there as well, where the brother of the wife of the prime minister or whatever has a company that just so happens to produce face masks, or they have an IT company, so they're going to manage the COVID database, and they'll spend £3 billion on it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. It's all those sort of kickbacks and back and forth. But in America, it's so obviously overt. Lobbyists just giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to senators, and then just going. Or senators don't even read those bills that pass, right? They read the one part that is for their constituency. What does my lobbyist want? He wants to make sure this farm bill has got in.
Right.
Okay, that's in.
And then they don't even work on any of those things. They have hearings so that they don't have to work on any of those things, so that they don't have to be exposed for, the obvious doing the bidding of the people who paid for their seat. They don't want to even do that in public. So what they're going to do all day long is have these hearings about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, is not a federal thing. It's a state thing. He committed crimes against the state. Yes, he did commit tax fraud and got punished for that. That's federal, but it doesn't require congressional.
Is it a conspiracy that he fucked his niece, or is that
fucked his niece? I didn't hear about that one.
We'll leave that to people to search on Twitter. I don't know. It's probably fake, but there are people that claim that he was.
I don't know if it's probably fake. The guy is definitely a dirty, creepy. He loved crack whores. We know he loved crack whores.
I saw the clips of him on the balcony, clearly on cocaine, on coke on the White House balcony, like this, and disappearing. And you can see Jill Biden just look. When you look straight ahead and don't look at someone, you can see the anger by her looking away. It's like this kid, man.
Yeah, no, he's just he's a piece of shit. So it would not shock me that he fucked his niece. It wouldn't shock me in the least that he did that.
Dead brother's daughter. Let's reframe it that way.
Yeah. And so, this is why people are desperate for something different. But then we go for Trumps and we go for Kennedys, and it doesn't get any better with that
So
stuff.
the only difference from the outside, and look at me, I might start talking about politics. The only difference really was Bernie, right? But they didn't let him. It was as soon as he got close, they were like, "Go fuck yourself." And they were even on those leaked emails. The DNC was collaborating with the news outlets, just saying, "No, we're prepping Hillary. This is Hillary's." Even though the voters wanted Bernie, but the DNC would go, "No, Hillary's going to get us the cash."
And they
You need some of your own
decided
money.
Hillary was the candidate the day Obama won the primary in 2008 when she lost.
She
the
ran
primary.
against him, right? Back
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
They basically said, "All right, Hillary's next. We'll let Obama have it for 8 years, and then we're going to nominate Hillary." And they stopped thinking at that point. Yeah, they're all fucking crooks. I mean, no doubt about it. And this is so I'm getting
But
myself into this thing.
what happens if you? I mean, back in the day, if you went after the money, they'd just kill you, right?
Right.
Now it's probably harder. So that killing now is reputational damage, right? They'd probably put kiddie porn on your hard drive, and just or they'll just get a Russian to transfer $20,000 into your bank account, and the FBI will be around the next day.
Yeah. Could happen.
Right?
Or they'll tie me to Rex Hellman somehow, the Gilgo killer. You know, I found out that one of the bodies was. I just found this out the other day. One of the bodies was dumped like 500 feet from where we used to play all the time over on Cedar Beach. This place called
More bodies.
Yeah, but so yeah, the bodies while probably happened while we were playing. You know, this is the distraction. The cops aren't going to be looking at a guy over in the woods over there because they're all watching the crowd and making sure nobody's getting rowdy on the beach in front of the band and doing anything, doing drugs or anything. So the cops are distracted by the show while they're dumping bodies. This is my new imaginary theory. Anyway.
What happened with that serial killer case? Because they arrested the guy, right? Was it an architect?
They arrested him and charged him with three of the murders and have him as suspect in the fourth. But in truth, there's probably at least 20 people. There's definitely absolutely 11, but there could be as many as 20 that are all tied into this thing. They charged him with three and have him as chief suspect in a fourth. And just the day before he was arrested, another body was discovered, not on the beach, on the Long Island side, not on the Fire Island side, but in the same wooded area, same MO. So that one could be attributed to him too. He was stalking women 2 weeks before they arrested him. Some woman called 911. There's a stranger chasing me around the park, and he's harassing me, and they think she might have been an intended victim. My thing is nobody stops once you don't just start and stop. You just don't one day wake up and say, "I need a new hobby. I think I'll kill whores." That sounds like a good hobby, right? And then once you get you don't stop or when they discovered the bodies on Fire Island in 2010, he didn't just say, "Yeah, I got to quit my hobby." Nobody does that. He just stopped. I got to find a new dumping spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's got a lot more.
Yeah, and those serial killers, they never start killing anyway. They would have been maiming and beating up women and hurting animals and shit for years before they start killing, right? It's a compulsion from when they're kids normally.
Yeah, he didn't just wake up one day and say, I don't know. I could build model airplanes. I could learn to play guitar. Maybe take up bowling. How about killing whores? That sounds like fun.
I miss serial killer. You should stand for bringing back serial killers because I missed it. You can't really be a serial killer now. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but it's not like the 70s or the 80s where there was loads. Because it's just harder, right? It's harder to get away with it now.
Long Island has its share, boy. In that area where he's from, especially.
I want to look into that crime in particular. I keep meaning to find podcasts and stuff because it's really interesting.
Well, the thing is, and I don't know if you ever talked to Ralph, but if you did talk to Ralph, Ralph used to have a boat that he docked right across from on the bay side of where the bodies were dumped, and there's a bay side and the ocean side. The bodies were dumped on the ocean side. Ralph had the boat over there, but he also ran a club, and I was working with him and often would be at the club until closing and drive him home and to his boat because he would stay on the boat over in the summer. And if you were over there, if you drove over there at any point, you would get pulled over by a cop. Every night I got pulled over by cops and harassed by cops. What are you doing here? What's your business here? And so the theory was you have to be either well known by the cops or be in cooperation with the cops. In order to be able to dump a body over there, they have to know you because they stop everybody. So that's one of the theories, that it was probably a police officer, or a police officer was somehow involved. And then the chief of police was found, one of his informants found a gym bag in his locker that had a bunch of sex toys, dildos, and all that kind of stuff, and a black book that had all the victims, all the known victims at that time, their information in it. So
yeah, because you were saying it might have been him before, right?
Right, and he beat up the informant, beat him near to death, and went to jail for beating his informant to death, or near to death. And went to jail for 4 years, and just got out like last year. Just got out of prison. He was the chief of police. The DA and the assistant DA went to jail for obstructing the federal investigation into the serial killings. They both are in jail now.
Yeah.
So the whole system here was corrupt right from the start. So, yeah, I do think the police at least helped in some way, some part. So it's a very complicated case. The first victim that was found, they don't even consider her as part of the case, which is just fucking ridiculous. She was also a Craigslist prostitute, just like all the other ones.
Was this the one that left the voicemail?
Yes.
Because I've heard the voicemail, because after your show, I went to find it online.
Yeah. Two 911 calls.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say she accidentally, her pants accidentally fell off while she was running towards the lighthouse. Yeah, that always happens to me. My pants always just accidentally fall off while I'm running. And she just accidentally drowned.
Sometimes with the police, especially back then, it might have been more like they couldn't be fucking bothered with the paperwork.
They took 4 hours to even respond to the call. Yeah, she calls.
So just say it's prostitutes and homeless people, right? It's like, why bother investigating? A lot of the time, it's like a lot of serial killers got away with stuff for a while because they were killing prostitutes, and police didn't give a shit. They were like, it's just a horse. She's she's got murdered. That's what they do.
Taking lessons from Jack, the original Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
that was his. He laid out the how to be a serial killer in one easy step.
Yeah, in the dark streets with no street lighting back then. There's definitely no cameras, so there's no witnesses.
Same on Ocean Parkway. There's not. That's the thing. But you will get pulled over by the cop. You can't drive that stretch without getting pulled over at night.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you're suspicious to them. What are you doing here? Nobody comes over here at 1 o'clock in the morning, ever, unless you're dropping Ralph off at a boat. And what's Ralph doing? Well, Ralph ain't a serial killer, by the way. He couldn't do it.
I don't know. They always say he was a nice guy.
No, Ralph's not a nice guy. That's why he couldn't do it. Ralph is not a nice guy. He's Dice Clay.
I killed her because she's got those pig fucking titties over here.
You've been sick. Have you been sick? Are you okay?
I was sick last. What do you mean, mentally or physically?
No, because you were talking about illness last week. But it seemed like it was a
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was just a 3 days.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that, and because it seemed like you were off Twitter more than I didn't see you on there for a while, and then I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I've had a real busy couple of weeks as well, real stressy, busy. So
yeah.
But then I have no commitments. I'm supposed to be at a comedy festival tomorrow. I don't know if I can go yet. But apart from that, I've got nothing on. And next week, I might even be going to a random European country. We'll see.
And today, you're doing something with Jamie?
Yeah, so we're gonna do a last rites on YouTube instead of Twitch. We're gonna go straight to YouTube live for 3 hours, and then Brett Brock will be back. Brett is now back streaming after his personal
I'm going to miss it because I have a nursing home gig at 2 o'clock that I have to leave at 1 o'clock for. So I'll probably miss most of it. I won't be back.
Could you get me paid if you wheel an iPad into a nursing home and I'll sing for him?
Yes, I could.
Ain't nothing but
I recommend it. Kat was talking about her success on YouTube, getting a 75.
Yeah,
Now,
she had a big lot of views right on there. One of the
right.
songs.
But and she was also said at the end, I still no money. I need to get a job. And offline, I told her, the nursing home thing is a good racket, and she could definitely do that. They pay $150.
Congressional candidate. The nursing home thing is a racket.
It is. It's a
2023.
good
Clip it.
because there's a law that says they have to have entertainment in every week. They always have to. They have to have
Yeah,
one entertainment.
you're never going to get any complaints, And if they do, you just say, "Well, that's dementia.
Right.
I'm coming
Right.
back next week. Give me
Yeah.
$300 or whatever it is."
And it's pretty good pay. And somebody who lives in New York City like Kat does, she could probably do 10, 15 a week. And so, I mean, you talk $150 an hour. That doing 15 hours is a job you could live off of, definitely, right?
For sure. Ted, water, food. Get some food you like. Get some water, and then it's sleep time. There's
Water,
no magic potion.
water, definitely. Water is a big part of it because the alcohol dehydrates your brain.
And ideally drink water while you're drinking beer, but it never happens, right? But if you do it, you feel fine the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it shrinks your brain because all the water sucks out of it.
right. Good stuff. Yeah, and well, preemptive. Nobody cares about preemptive. They always care about I woke up with the hangover. How do I fix it? That's the problem. Carl's phone is ringing. No, something's going on here too.
There was one night I did it with Jamie though. I sat here and drank a load of beer, but I drank water all night, and I felt absolutely fine the next day. I'm just getting some nice cold.
But then you have to pee like every 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue.
I had a friend back in the day who was a hardcore alcoholic and couldn't wait to get a colostomy bag. He couldn't wait because he just didn't like it.
You don't have to move; lazy. You just sit there.
Yeah, too lazy to get up to pee.
I never want a colostomy bag. I think I might shoot myself in the face if I get a colostomy bag.
Right. So I did not sleep last night because at about quarter to midnight, I got a phone call from I want to say one of the biggest rock stars in the world.
Okay.
I had sent an email from my Mind Dog TV account with my phone number on it, asking him to be on the show, explaining what we do and why I want him on the show, and hadn't heard from him in a while. And then all of a sudden at midnight last night, or almost midnight, I got a phone call, and it says who it is, and I'm like, no, this is
where is he? What coast is he on? Is he in the US?
He's right now. He's on tour in somewhere in like middle of America. I think he was in Milwaukee too. That's pretty much people are gonna be, who's in Milwaukee? He is one of the biggest rock stars and somebody who's really unique, and I would love to get him on. So he said, this is what's fucking weird, and maybe I shouldn't talk about this online, but I can't help myself. He wants to know what's in it for him, and I was like, well, to be honest with you, I know you don't need my promotion. I can't say that that's really good. I will promote you for the rest of my life, for eternity, as hard as I can. But I know that means nothing to you. You don't need my promotion. What can I give you? I mean, other than the fact that you will be imparting your career wisdom and knowledge into people who are really creatives that want it. I don't have anything to offer you. And he said, I'll consider it and they'll get back to me. And so I was up all night like, fucking, I can't believe this guy actually called me.
That's awesome. So he's probably got off stage and just gone through his emails.
Yeah. And so, and then 15 minutes after that, I got a DM from JT Habersat, and I was like, as much as I would get excited that JT has produced a video for me to promote this shows at Sticks and Stones, it was like such a anticlimactic moment. Like to me, it was like, it's just JT.
Hey, JT, fuck you.
Like a half hour. If he would have done it a half hour before, that would have got me excited, and I would have been, cool. JT is doing the right thing.
And another celebrity. Enough. I'm tired.
But listen, in comparison, it's like
that's
I don't
cool.
even, yeah.
Wow, everyone's going to be so Ted's guessing / Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan.
Bigger than all three of those.
Wow, that's a small department.
I don't know about bigger than Dylan because I've always said that Dylan is one of
Yeah,
the most
Dylan's pretty big.
Yeah. I'm gonna just to tease it a little bit. This guy was no, I'm not gonna say that. I want to get him, and then I want to fucking blow people's minds when he comes on the show. Now,
Yeah.
I did
I
say
do
I
you know
would
what else
mortgage my house.
you shouldn't promote it. You should just go live and just go, I'm here with, and then do the thumbnail after.
Then
That's what I
people will
would do.
get mad and say, "Why didn't you tell me he was going to be on?"
You watch it on the playback, but yeah, that's yeah, I'd bigger than maybe not as big as Dylan, but bigger than Slash and
bigger than Slash, bigger than
That's
Mick Jagger, bigger than Mick Jagger.
bigger than Springsteen. It's pretty big,
Yes,
right?
right now, yes, and far more appeal than Bruce Springsteen has right now. I would say if it was the 1980s, that Springsteen and got him in his prime, or still young, not in his prime, but in that part of his life, yeah, probably on that level. Yeah,
It's not McCartney. He's already had McCartney on, Ted.
I'm not saying.
There's a video. Mind Dogs have McCartney on. Go and search on the YouTube.
But no, bigger than McCartney at this stage. McCartney's huge, obviously, but he's 80 years old. This guy's not 80.
What's the age range? 40 to 60?
I'd say he's in the same age range as, say, one of the Gallagher brothers. That's all I was. He's in that age range.
40s, late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah. So that, one of the Gallagher brothers is huge, but this guy's bigger than both of them. I'm gonna end up fucking saying it. I gotta shut up. But
here's what you can do: you can DM me, and I'll tell no one.
Yeah,
let's not talk about it on here. You don't want to.
Right, I will DM you. But I love the fact that you're guessing. And Lars Ulrich, I mean, he didn't belong on that list. Why do people hate Lars? They don't. I don't know if you guys
don't
know.
Don't they hate him because he went after LimeWire? Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Piracy stuff.
Napster, right? He went after
Napster. Yeah, predating.
Yeah, but no, I'm not talking about maybe listeners, but mostly musicians hate Lars, and they always talk about what a shitty drummer he is and how incompetent he is. And I never get. I mean, for what Metallica did, I thought he was the perfect drummer. Now I know a lot of times, whatever his name is, James, the leader of Metallica. When I went to see him, every time I saw them, he was yelling at Lars the whole time. Like he'd turn around in the middle of the song and be fucking.
Maybe he's done something behind the scenes that went, in music that we're not aware of. I don't know.
Yeah. But he's not like Robert Taylor saying John Mellencamp. No, somebody much younger than John Mellencamp. This is the problem. All those people, Mick Jagger's, McCartney's, even Mellencamp's, those are huge names. Dylan, of course, is a huge name. But those are grandpa people, older than me, 20 years older.
So what he's saying is it's a current relevant touring artist.
Yeah, and kicking ass. I'll tell Carl offline. And then when we get him on here, you people can all say, "Wow, that fucking dog, he got somebody."
That's awesome.
Most excited I've ever been about the prospect of having. Now we're probably going to consider it and say no thanks. But I did tell him I would mortgage my house if that would help. I would mortgage my house and give him all the money to come on my show. That's how much I want him on the show. I don't think he took that seriously, but he did tell me he's considering it. So hopefully I'll get an answer pretty soon.
That's cool. It's cool that he called you himself as well and didn't have an agent.
Right, yeah.
Manager call you. Yeah?
Well, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say that. Right. But he knows people that I know. And now in my original letter to him, I said we have friends in common, and I mentioned those friends in common. And that kind of is why. Yeah. He said, "Oh, it's safe to call this guy." He checked on me. He called those people and said, "You know this guy, Matt Napo? Oh yeah, Matt's a good guy." And that's why he felt comfortable and not worried about me like bookmarking his number and then sharing it with the public. Hey, call.
I think obviously I think bigger names in music or whatever should go on smaller shows because they're going to have a better conversation for the most part, right?
Yeah.
There might be some really high-end YouTube channels and whatnot, but when they go on TV, it's always a bad conversation. For the most part, it's a bad conversation if you go on a TV show. Why do you want to go on a late-night show?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
have some pre-agreed weird scripts.
And you get and get 15 minutes tops. I mean, usually it's 8 minutes before they
And
go.
no one that's watching those shows is going to buy tickets. So
Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird. You get on a YouTube show, and yeah, they should pick at random. If I was super famous, I would pick at random a small YouTuber, so I can just pop in and go, "Come on, let's go."
And I
We'll have a
get
better
his
conversation.
concern, like, what's in it for me? Like, why would I want to do this? And I think I made a fair pitch that, you know what, you want to do it for your legacy. You want to do it to give back.
Have a good conversation, yeah, and have
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I did say that most of the celebrities I have talked to have enjoyed it. I haven't gotten any bad feedback from a celebrity. I've gotten bad feedback from one or two non-celebrities who've been on the show, but for the most part, people enjoy being on the show. So anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I probably will be excited all day long. I'll probably be excited until 3 or 4 days go by and he doesn't get back in touch with me, and I'll be like, oh, he's not going to do it. And then I'll get all depressed,
Yeah.
and I'll start drinking and
Yeah. I'm the worst. I'm the worst with admin because I ask people to come on, then I get anxiety about opening the DMs, the replies. I don't open them for a week, and then I open them when I'm drunk, and then send a weird reply. It's like, that's my self-destruct. So like, I don't know.
what is no, it's not. It's not Jason Aldean. I could have had Jason Aldean on the program. I haven't. See, this is ancient history now. 2013, I met with Jason Aldean's people, pitching songs for them. I have their contacts. If I wanted Jason Aldean on before this, I could have definitely had the stuff on. I do believe. Are you familiar with the Jason Aldean thing?
No.
Country guy. He has a shitty song out. He put out in May called "Try That in a Small Town." It is about the BLM riots and all that stuff, and it's a typical country. Toby Keith will put a boot in your ass type of American flag waving country song, and it was doing nothing. And then just suddenly this week, people started to get outraged by it. Now it's been out since May and doing nothing. They expected it to be a hit. It wasn't. They put all of a sudden people start getting outraged by it. And now it's moving up in the charts and #1 in Apple. And my contention is, and I know his people, again, keep that in mind, that they did this on purpose. The calls of the outrage, the cancel culture calls came from within the house. Now you remember, I'm a guy who started a petition to cancel myself. I know because I see the benefit of bad publicity. I think, and knowing his people, I am completely convinced myself that they are the ones causing the outrage, starting the cancel stuff, and then both left and right buy into it. The left, first of all, sees the video
and everyone watches the video.
Right, and then it skyrockets, and all of a sudden it went from not being on the Billboard charts at all to cracking the top 40 and is #1 on Apple iTunes 3 days after the cancel culture starts.
There we go. It's a good strategy then.
Yeah, it totally is. And I've been on a soapbox by saying, you people are blind. Don't give it any attention. If you don't like the song, change the station. You don't need to be all over Twitter saying how it's racist or it's promoting violence or all that stuff. Just don't watch it. But they fall for it. And then the other side comes in and says, look, the left is trying to cancel us. No, it's like everybody's falling for it from different angles, but it's all the same trick to keep people angry, and meanwhile he's cashing in. Oh, that's what Rob was talking about. I was talking about that yesterday, and no, he won't do it anymore. But I could have had him on anytime before. I just didn't think he was relevant. He's not. Country people, they have their audience, and where Robert lives, I'm sure they are big stars. But in New York, nobody gives a fuck.
No one gives a fuck about country music outside America.
Or even outside of middle and southern. Well, I shouldn't say southern because up Michigan is the middle of America. Is definitely East Coast, southern, middle America, and probably all of Texas and New Mexico in that area. They love country music, but California, New York.
I can appreciate it. And listen, I guess it's not necessarily country, but I love being in the honky tonks in Nashville. I can appreciate it and sit there and listen to it. Great musicians. But yeah, when they write their own songs, it's going to be about driving a truck and getting drunk and losing
I
your girl.
wish. Now it's all about bro. It's all the bro stuff, and here it's really it become like country music was always simple music, but it's become not even that. It's just the same three chords throughout, no bridge, no difference between the chorus and the verse. You're just playing the same three chords throughout, like a loop, and they have to go from traditional type of my dog died, my girl left me, my truck is.
Are those artists even writing that stuff, or is a studio writing it for them?
They have 15 writers.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff. These songwriting houses just literally sit there and they'll just play. They've already got the chords set up. You know what you're going to do, right? You know how you're going to move around to make a hit.
Yeah,
Those 5 chords or whatever for a song, and they're all ready to go.
right.
And they just change it up a little bit.
And well, here's the thing: they feel the need to inject a little bit of hip hop culture into every top pop country song now.
They doing blackface?
No, they don't do it in blackface, but it's black voice. It's the same thing. They're trying to appropriate hip hop culture into country, and it's so apparently overt that it's a turnoff. I'm sure real hip hop people would be like, "Man, that's it." White bread country, but it is white bread hip hop, but it is an attempt to act black. So it's not blackface, it's black voice, but it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it happened. We have had I guess in more of the hip hop, the white hip hop artists. There's the Libertines had a good song. 20. I can't believe it's 20 years old now, but there's a song in it. There's a line in one of their songs like white kids talking like they're black. But it's just it's a whole. I don't know.
Yeah, haven't heard the expression "wigger" in a while, but that's where that comes from.
Yeah, I don't even think you're allowed to say that. I think that's
I could say that. I could say that. People can get outraged by it, but I don't think YouTube is going to deplatform me for saying that.
Wafro.
If I say it all day long, maybe they.
If you scream it. If you scream
I'm really upset about not being on Rumble today because Rumble. I've been doing really well with the live streams.
Yeah,
on
you
Rumble.
said.
So, but for some reason, I guess late last night I plugged in the wrong stream key, and then as soon as I started, we're having a problem connecting to Rumble.
You know what? That's reminded me. I'm going to stream to YouTube and Rumble today.
Yeah.
I haven't streamed to Rumble. I've now my YouTube's connected to Rumble, so all the videos get pushed there.
See, I undid that when I started live streaming there. I undid the connection that it automatically goes up because I don't want redundancy. I don't want like a long stream going on there twice, and it kind of divides.
I've had high views on like two random videos, but most of them get fuck all at the moment. But I've got a few followers on there.
Right, but if you disconnect that, they're going to be there anyway. And people, my experience.
Well, a lot of my videos on YouTube aren't live streams anymore. I pre-record a lot now. I just do 5 or 10 minutes and upload them. But the live streams, so there's not a lot. The old ones are up there, but I'm going to start occasionally streaming to YouTube again, and I might as well multi-stream to Rumble at the same time. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen or tried the within StreamYard the repurposing edit stuff where they automatically do stream little reels and
yes, so I use it for shorts.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that you can't zoom
you can't
or move anything
reformat,
around. It's just kind of in the middle of the phone thing. But yeah, occasionally shorts are okay as well. So I use those every video I do. I tend to take at least 2 shorts out of it, and the next couple of days I'll put a short out from it. And then sometimes they do nothing, and sometimes they get some views.
Right.
So remember to do it.
I put in a request to support for them to work on that and to work on an API for Rumble, so that because with Rumble, every time you do a live stream, you have to change the key, the streaming server and the key.
It's an RMTP key, isn't it? Stream key on that.
And also, I want the comments to be able to come in from them, so that if they're watching, they don't have to go to YouTube. They can stay on Rumble and comment in, and so. I put in a request for both of that. And StreamYard is good at least acknowledging that we got it and we're going to work on that. How long it takes them.
Well, I noticed that they made a change this week where you can see the audio waveforms now on the thing, and you can split now as well for the shorts, which is good. Yeah, it's
Nashville
going
is
to
an
get better.
assembly line. That's true. Songwriters write the songs, the B-list musicians record the demos, the record companies match them with the stars and perform them. Yes. What is Ted in the music industry? I mean, that is the way it works. I mean, I know
about Nashville. Yeah, I've heard a lot of. I mean, it's still great though. It is still great. I follow. I found a random British musician. She just goes around the tour. She isn't particularly well known, but she earns a living, and she was in Nashville a few weeks ago. So I said, go to this taco place. She's like, yeah, I've been. But I do like. I really enjoyed being on that on Broadway with Brett. I really did enjoy it. I could have. Next time I go back, I'm going to stay downtown a couple of days and see what it's like at night as well. But from 11 a.m., it's going from 11 a.m. every single day.
Yeah.
There's music everywhere, and the first bar we went in is the one right next to the Ryman. So you've got it's the Ryman, right? The big place.
Yes.
Yeah. So behind that, there's an alleyway, and Brett took me in the back door of the first bar, and that's literally where all the big stars would have stood and fought and been sick and got sucked off all those years ago. And he said even now, when someone's playing at the Ryman, sometimes they'll run over and do a surprise set on that first corner bar. You get you running, and there's 3 stages in there. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, good stuff. But there is still this. I don't know, this mentality of the where it's going is this new. They're not traditionalists, and I think the beauty of country music, for as long as it was good, was that it was true to its roots. It wasn't perverted by other genres. But then, and I don't think necessarily cross-pollination of musical ideas is a bad thing, but they have completely abandoned. There is no such thing as traditional country music.
Well, the record companies, I guess, they're just trying to adapt, right? Probably.
Yeah, they're trying to make money. I mean, that's what it is. Kids don't want to hear George Jones.
I guess the musicianship is what's still good in places like Nashville. They're still jobbing musicians every day, playing all day, and it's phenomenal. That's kind of separate, but yeah, the best ones of those will play on all the records. And
yeah, like Ted saying there are 5 guitarists who play on it. I don't know if that's true. Probably more like 15, but that small group of musicians, they're fucking amazing. They're all. I mean. They light up,
and they just jump in and out of other bands as well. They'll just go in a bar and jump on, and they'll play an hour and go somewhere else. And they're really phenomenal guitarists.
Yeah, there's one guy I follow his reels, and I know he's a session musician in Nashville. I can't think of his name because I'm old, but he's fucking amazing. He will go through like a million different styles in a day in 10 different reels. He'll play like a Stevie Ron thing. He'll play a Brad Paisley esque type of piece. But the guy is he can play anything. He's a true virtuoso. And yeah, I love that. I would never be that. I could never be that. So I'm in awe of it when I see it. Anyway,
yeah, I can't wait to go back, and I'm going to sit at least one day. I'm going to sit in a bar from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
So the problem with you and your streams is I never know. I mean, I know you like to just fly by the seat of your pants and do it whenever you feel like it, but I never know when you're going to do it. So I always miss it. Like
I'm trying to bring back a bit more because now Jamie's back. I'm trying to bring. We're trying to come back once or twice a week at the same time.
That would be good
Thursday,
to have some kind of schedule. So I don't, because I miss them all. I see it after you, like you're off you ended the stream. I see it. Oh, streaming now.
Well, those Twitch ones, I just love. It's just like, right, let's get on. No one else is. I check if anyone else is streaming. Right, no one's streaming tonight. Let's get on, like my friends,
right.
And then just get on, drink a few beers, and it's a fun hang actually. And yeah, but tonight we're going to do Jamie and me 6 p.m.
Brock
1 p.m.
you?
Eastern. Brock's semi-retired from being on camera, I think, but we'll convince him one day.
Did the dog do it? Did the dog break his heart? Is that what happened?
No, a long time ago. A good few months ago, I think he came on in January with Andrist when we did the Andrist special thing. So we might be attempting if we get Andrist on.
Wow. I really truly enjoyed Brock's contribution to all the stuff. I think he's funny. I think he brings a whole different dynamic to it. I love seeing him with you and Jamie because, I
Yeah,
mean,
I love all those streams. We'll get him back on. I might just offer him hard cash, to be
all
honest. I
right,
might just pay
people,
him
I
some
want
odd
you to go on Twitter and start a campaign
Husky
harassing Brock.
boyo
Yeah, harassing Brock to get back on the streams, and don't tell him I sent you.
at Husky boyo. He just likes drinking, man. I love spending time with him as well. Because it's just what you see is what you get. He's just drinking. He's just there drinking beer.
He's definitely authentic and doesn't hold back. He says what he feels, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good guy.
He does Twitch streams, slating Twitch for 4 hours. Sometimes he's like, "Fuck Twitch." Like,
Yeah.
they're taking too much money off the artist and all that kind of stuff.
So before we go, I just want to let you know, Robert Taylor put me in touch with a guy who is a manager for a lot of comedians, and he's getting me some people on the show. This has opened my mind to how I approach getting guests on the show now, and getting some really cool comedians and funny people on the show. I have some commitments, but they are for September and October. He got me Vic DiBenedetto, who was on earlier this week. I don't know if you know him. He's very popular on the East Coast of the United States.
I didn't recognize the name, no, but I'll check out the show.
He's the milk and bread guy. Because that thing went viral, he got like 15 million views on that thing. Where he's in, it starts to snow, and I gotta get milk and bread. I gotta get milk and bread. He's very Italian, very New York.
Not DiBenedetto is Italian.
DiBenedetto, but DiBitetto. Yeah,
Is that Italian for diabetes?
Yeah, very, very Italian, very New York, Brooklyn accent. He lives in Jersey, but he's up and down the. He works 4 nights a week and headlining up and down the coast. He's very popular now. He's got the Tony Gaga videos, and Who Wants Coffee? He goes into a 7-Eleven. And he's by the coffee machine. He goes, "Who wants coffee? I just made fresh coffee. I got fresh coffee." And the fucking 7-Eleven staff is freaking out. Like, what is with this guy? And he's just shooting those kind of videos. It's funny as hell to see the reactions people give. But
nice. Yeah, I'll check out the show, and I'll check out some of his stuff as well. I saw the links last week, but I missed it live.
Yeah, he's good. But the idea is that Robert hooked me up to his agent, who had said, "Sure, I'll give you my whole access to my whole roster. Give me some dates," and I put them out there, and we're getting people on the show. Now I want to think, because I've been my approach has been look for publicists or go to their websites and look at their contact number, see who their publicist is. That hasn't been working out, but I'm thinking now go to their booking agent, go to their manager, people who manage these people.
Go to the agency,
Yeah, those people are easy and friendly to work with.
Yeah, because if you get one on often and it goes okay, often you get access to the roster, right? So
yeah, like the woman who was on from Laura Banks, who was from Star Trek, she called up Eddie Brill, who was going to be on the next day, and she was raving about her experience on it. That's good to hear. Like, so so just that they enjoyed it so much that they're calling the next guest and saying, "You're going to have a great time with this guy." Wow, that's really cool stuff. Thank you. So all things are looking up. I'm excited about the program. You should stop in more often. I think people miss you because you're only here like once a month now.
Well, I was on last week. Fridays are often easy, and I've got 0 commitments. I've got no commitments the next week at all. I might go on a last-minute trip to a European country like Germany or somewhere, or the Netherlands on Wednesday. I'm going to do it last minute. I'm just going to see what I can get.
Wow.
And I might even do a gig if I go to Amsterdam or Berlin. I can definitely do a gig out there. So, we'll see. We'll see what's cheap.
All right, I got to go wash my balls and get ready for the nursing home gigs today. I usually wash my balls one at a time, but today I think I'll probably do them both together.
There's a 3.5-day comedy festival in a tiny little industrial estate near Birmingham where Ozzy Osbourne was born, Clydeley Heath. And I will be there tomorrow at about 11 p.m. late. Bushfest.
Now, will you be biting the heads off of any bats?
I will not, but I have made jokes about Ozzy Osbourne there before, and they're literally people that grew up with him. That's the audience. They've got 3 eyes. They all live on this weird estate in Birmingham, and this guy bought this pub outright, and he only opens for comedy and music.
Wow.
It's some weird illegal den. There's no heating there. It's just he just opens it up. There's no lights in the toilets, but it's a great comedy venue. And he does a festival every year called Bush Fest. This year is Thursday night to Sunday night straight through, and people, yes, you can get fucked up there, and it's great. There's a lot of good comedians come together there. So hopefully I'll be there tomorrow. And that's good. Oh yeah, I'll go during the day and spend all day there hanging out. And
Are you a Black Sabbath fan or Ozzy from the '80s Ozzy band?
Not really. I mean, if I hear some of the tunes, yeah, I like it, but I never really got into listening to it. Maybe I should dig down there. I really knew Ozzy Osbourne because he lived near me when I grew up. So where he had his quad bike accident was all down the road.
Yeah, one of the first songs I ever played in the band was Black Sabbath "Paranoid." When I went playing guitar, I was probably 11 when that song, 10 or 11. But it was, the one that was every kid played because it was pretty easy at the time. And the beauty of it is, all you thought, or at least the mentality was, all you need is a fuzz box pedal, and everything. Or you could do anything with the fuzz box. But any Black Sabbath song, you could just have a fuzz.
It's a great tune. Yeah, when those sort of things come on, I love it. I still turn it up. It's Ozzy's an absolute fucking legend, and yeah, another Birmingham.
Well, I'm going to spoil it. Ozzy Osbourne is the guest. I'm kidding. He probably can't even talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's on his way out.
It'll be a tough conversation. I have to be like, I need an interpreter. Can we do this in sign language or something? Because I don't know what the fuck you say. Anyway, thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it.
Right. Sorry for derailing your congressional show.
No, I had run out of things to say about it anyway. I just wanted to give people, because I know it seems insane and it seems ridiculous. And what are you even doing? You're being foolish about this thing. But they don't take into account that the guy who I'm running against is going to be in jail, and the other side lost pitifully to the guy who's going to be in jail. There was never a better opportunity for an idiot like me to be in Congress than this perfect opportunity of a guy in jail and a total loser who lost to a guy in jail.
But listen, if you win, you're not going to want that job, right? It's going to be annoying.
Yeah.
How annoying is it going to be to be a congressman? Do stuff and listen to people.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I would go there. The plan is, and I think I elaborated on this, the plan is to get thrown out. It's to go there and tell them they're all fucking idiots. You're not supposed to say that on the floor of Congress. You're supposed to have decorum. But the minute I get 2 minutes of time, Mr. Napper, you have time. You're all corrupt. You're out of order. And then I'm censured and sent home. And I get my $174,000 for being there. And thank you very much.
Well, good luck. I hope you get it.
Yeah, I could use the $174,000, no doubt about it. So I'm excited. I have a chance to. Anthony Rogers, who has been on the program, who's a comedian, ran for Congress in Missouri. He came within 10,000 votes of winning a congressional seat. So it's not like it's impossible. It's highly unlikely. But I make some noise and maybe get some publicity for the podcast in the meantime.
Yeah, just go out there and go coffee with a dog. Fuck you.
My dog is going to wear a Buddha on his head. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. No, I'm not going to wear a Buddha on my head. To celebrate, who's Brian Johnson? Brian Johnson, is he a rock star? I don't even know him. Who is that?
It rings a bell. I don't know.
I don't know. That's not a David Lee Roth, I know. Or David Lee Roth I could probably get. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for coming. Have a great day, and see you later. The Fabulous Carl Mann. I'm getting out of here. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Vote for me. Tell your friends to vote for me in District 3 in 2024. I know I have a long way to go. I'm going to play Turn on Your Radio, and then I'm going to go DM Carl, who the mystery guest is. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Issues with Andy's Friday, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.
me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.